From the outside, our marriage looked picture perfect. Jason and I were the couple others admired, successful, affectionate, and seemingly in sync. But behind our closed doors, things had shifted. We barely spoke beyond the basics, intimacy had all but vanished, and we moved through the house like distant roommates. My younger sister Lily had always been my go-to person, the one I turned to when life got messy. She was healing from a painful breakup at the time, and I offered her a place to stay while she picked up the pieces. Lily had always looked up to Jason, even joked that she hoped to find a man like him one day. She envied what she thought we had, unaware that our connection was unraveling. One evening, after a draining day and too many glasses of wine, I found myself spilling everything to her. The silence between Jason and me, the absence of real connection, and the gnawing fear that maybe he simply wasn't interested anymore. Lily, ever the grounded one, suggested I talk to him openly, but I was too deep in my own insecurity to listen. Instead, I blurted out something reckless, half joking but laced with real doubt. What if it's not me? What if he just needs something different? Maybe try flirting with him. See if he responds. Then I'll know. Lily was stunned. Are you serious? She asked. I laughed it off, pretending I didn't mean it, but the seed had already been planted. The next morning, it felt like a drunken blur, something I hoped would fade from both our memories. But Lily hadn't forgotten. In the days that followed, I noticed a shift. Her tone with Jason became warmer, her laughs a little brighter around him. She dressed a bit differently too, more attention to detail, more effort. At first, I told myself I was just being paranoid. But Jason was clearly responding. He seemed more animated, more present, and too often, his focus was on her. One night, I walked into the living room and saw them sitting unusually close, laughing at something on the screen. Something in me twisted. Was this the outcome of my own suggestion? Later that night, I confronted Lily, unable to hold it in. Are you trying to take him from me? I asked, barely managing to steady my voice. She looked hurt and frustrated. You're the one who planted the idea, she said. I haven't crossed any lines, but Jason, he's responding. That's not on me. Her words hit hard. The truth was, I had created this chaos. I'd opened a door out of desperation and now couldn't close it. It wasn't just about Lily, or Jason. It was about us, Jason and me, and everything we'd neglected for so long. I finally saw that our love hadn't disappeared overnight. It had slowly faded while we both waited for the other to fix things. And I had to decide if I was willing to fight for it, or if it was already too far gone. I eventually opened up to Jason, apologizing for the emotional distance I had created between us. I didn't mention the conversation I had with Lily. Some things were better left unspoken, but I did ask if he had felt the same growing gap. To my relief, he admitted he had. He'd been struggling too, silently, unsure how to bridge the space between us. But he made it clear he wanted to fix things as much as I did. A week later, Lily decided it was best to move out. She understood that putting some distance between us would give both of us time to heal. Our bond as sisters was strained after that, the trust between us frayed, but I held on to the hope that time and understanding would eventually help us find our way back to each other. With Jason, we began the hard work of rebuilding. We started therapy, had uncomfortable but necessary conversations, and slowly learned how to communicate better. We made time for each other, not out of routine, but out of renewed intention. Looking back now, I realize just how close I came to losing everything that mattered. Lily and Jason never had an affair, not in action, but I had created the perfect storm through my own carelessness and insecurity. It wasn't Lily's fault, nor was it fully Jason's. It was my inability to confront my fears in a healthy way that nearly tore us apart. That season of my life taught me a hard but valuable truth: love isn't self-sustaining. It takes work, honesty, vulnerability, and patience. Without those things, even the most seemingly solid relationships can begin to crumble. Today, Jason and I are stronger, not perfect, but more connected than we've been in years. Still, the scars from that time remain. They remind me how fragile love can be, how easily it can be threatened not by betrayal, but by silence, neglect, and doubt. Some boundaries, even unspoken ones, should never be tested. And though my marriage survived, the lesson lingers with me, quietly, deeply, a constant reminder to protect what I nearly lost. Some wounds don't bleed, they echo. This story is not just about temptation or emotional distance, it's about the quiet decisions we make, the trust we break without meaning to, and the long road back to one another. If this story touched you, reminded you of something you've lived or narrowly avoided, remember, it's never too late to choose vulnerability, to fight for connection, and to rewrite the story before it ends in silence. Thank you for taking the time to watch and reflect with us. These stories are not just shared for entertainment, they are cautionary echoes of real experiences that many silently carry. Your support means everything. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel for more real-life narratives that uncover the raw truth behind relationships, betrayal, healing, and redemption. Disclaimer: this story is a dramatized account inspired by real experiences. Names, events, and details have been altered for privacy and storytelling purposes. The content is intended for mature audiences and aims to spark discussion and reflection, not judgment. Viewer discretion is advised. If this story moved you, challenged your perspective, or simply held your attention, don't leave without hitting that subscribe button. We share real, raw, and emotionally gripping tales just like this every week, stories that explore the hidden truths behind relationships, trust, betrayal, and healing. And don't forget to tap the notification bell, so you're the first to know when the next chapter drops. Your support helps us keep telling the stories that matter.